Hello everyone, welcome to Global Government News. Today is August 7th, 2010, and I'm Darko. In this video series we'll be covering the war on terror, liberty, and sovereignty. This first article that's up is titled U.S. Agrees to Give Pakistan Drone Technology. This is from Press TV, and it was posted August 7th, 2010. The U.S. government has agreed in principle to provide Pakistan with drone technology for the purpose of intelligence gathering and surveillance, the U.S. official says. We have shown willingness to provide drone technology to Pakistan for the purposes of intelligence gathering and surveillance, the United States Undersecretary of Defense for Policy Michele A Fluornoy told reporters in Islamabad on Friday. It says, quote, technology will be provided under whatever option is accepted by them. This technology will be used for the operational needs of Army, a Press TV correspondent quoted Fluornoy as saying, and this is what kind of got me, was that the U.S. has been using drones, and whether they want to or not, I'm sure they'll publicly say that it's not their intentions and it's just whatever. But yeah, they've been in Pakistan droning, and people have been dying because of it for a while now. And it says this statement comes as the U.S. Army has carried out numerous drone strikes in Pakistan over the last 18 months. Some 50 of 146 strikes carried out in Pakistan since 2004 have occurred in 2010 alone, killing dozens of people, according to data released by the Washington-based New America Foundation. And it says a recent poll has found that most Pakistanis view the U.S. as an enemy and are opposed to the U.S.-led war in Afghanistan. It said the poll conducted by the Pew Research Center says that the major reason behind the upsurge of hatred was the countless drone attacks in the Pakistani tribal region that killed hundreds of people. And this comes after, of course, the plane crash, then the floods, and then all the stories about the militants in Pakistan helping with the aid, along with the U.S. who are helping the aid. And like I was mentioning to a buddy of mine yesterday, it's kind of crazy because you got all these people that are doing it for PR reasons, right? But where's the government? Where's the Pakistani government? Well, it's a puppet government. They're not there, and they've been under a lot of pressure by their own people because they haven't really handled the whole rescue mission all that well. I believe the president actually took off out of the country when the floods were starting to get real bad for a meeting. But yeah, so you got all these floods, record floods. Could be cloud seeding, could not, but for whatever reason, they have a lot of floods, and it legitimizes the U.S. presence increasing over there. So they've had helicopters and troops now over there in Pakistan, and now they have drones. So I expect this to escalate, and I've mentioned this in previous videos, so I don't think I need to talk about it anymore. This is Lebanon to reinforce army. Days after deadly clashes between Israel and Lebanon, the Lebanese president vows to strengthen the country's military, saying it will be equipped with every necessary means of engagement. And the Lebanese president on Saturday visited the army base, which came under Israeli fire on Tuesday. Said Lebanon will work with friendly countries to provide the Lebanese army, with more advanced equipment. The decision has been made after an Israeli patrol unit on Tuesday breached a border fence attempting to uproot a tree on Lebanese soil. The move prompted an exchange of fire which killed 3 Lebanese soldiers, a Lebanese journalist, and a senior Israeli officer. I've mentioned this as well. The reason I post these articles are because I'm not trying to make a case for us attacking Iran. I'm just trying to show what's going on around the world with things such as this, where countries before war, they will usually try to side with other countries for economic reasons, usually for oil, energy, and that. And I've been seeing a lot of that lately, with countries kind of creating alliances and shaking hands and energy co-ops. But this is Iran, China to expand energy co-op. Iranian oil ministry Masoud Markazemi has held a meeting with Chinese vice premier, during which the two countries pledged to expand their cooperation in the energy sector. And it says Iran is an important energy supplier and one of the most important trade partners of China and Western Asia, which is true. state broadcaster China Central Television quoted. It says China is willing to maintain dialogue, communication, and coordination with Iran on major international and regional issues to protect regional and global peace, stability, and prosperity. And this, of course, says in recent years, Beijing has emerged as Iran's main economic partner. And it says last week, China expressed opposition to the EU's recent decision to impose unilateral sanctions on Iran over its nuclear program. And so, why is this important? Besides just showing you what's going on behind the scenes with all these countries kind of shuffling the pieces, and like this chess game, is that if the West does decide to go ahead with this conflict or whatever, this planned conflict with the East, it's going to be Iran at the center point, kind of like Israel, and then you're going to have the U.S. supporting Israel, but they may publicly be not denying it, but not supporting it. And then you'll have the same thing with Iran. You'll have them in China and Russia kind of working together, but publicly Russia and China will kind of distance themselves from Iran. And of course you'll have militias, insurgents, and quote terrorists, and anybody who doesn't want any of this and just wants people out of their country, that's what they'll be called. Fighting, and the government's going after them, and everybody just really confused. Quickly, Iran relocating defense industry. Iranian Defense Minister Brigadier General Ahmad Vahidi says authorities are relocating all defense-related industries out of the capital. And the first thing I thought when I read this is maybe they learned from the Germans. Let's move all your factories out of the city so they don't get bombed the hell out of them. Says regarding reports about U.S. reconnaissance missions over Iran, Vahidi said the U.S. is without a doubt after gathering intelligence on the region, especially Iran. Yeah, they've been caught. But they must know that the anti-aircraft posts and powerful air force of the Islamic Republic of Iran are prepared to respond to any aggression with full force and prevent such reconnaissance missions from taking place. This article, U.S. seeks to drag Iran into Afghan war, says following the U.S. president's proposal to hold talks with Iran about Afghanistan. An Iranian lawmaker says Barack Obama wants to drag the Islamic Republic into the Afghan war. And it says it proposed talks with Iran on Afghanistan. Since the two countries have, quote, mutual interest in fighting the Taliban, he said Iran should be a part of that and could be a constructive partner. And this right here is kind of interesting. Quote, Americans who are moving targets for themselves want to place Iran in front of the Taliban forces like a fixed target. And lastly, this individual went on to say that most of Washington's problems with the Taliban do not concern Iran, and added, quote, the U.S. takes advantage of Iran's friendly and peace-seeking policy to solve its problems. This is from the rawstory.com. It's titled Study, CIA Doctors Gave Green Light to Torture from August 5th, 2010. It says a new study in the Journal of American Medical Association reveals that physicians with the CIA's Office of Medical Services played an even greater role in facilitating the torture of detainees that was previously recognized. It says, yeah, the advisory function came in addition to the physician's previous involvement in the torture of detainees through performing medical evaluations before and after interrogation, monitoring waterboarding sessions, and collecting information on the effectiveness and risk of various techniques. This, of course, is pretty true. The U.S. isn't leaving Iraq. It's rebranding the occupation. Obama says withdrawal is on schedule, but remaining or outsourcing combat troops won't give Iraqis back their country. Yes, there'll be 50,000 troops still on the ground with they still have the orders to, shoot to kill if needed. This one is from Pravda. It says Seoul and Pyongyang have started yet another stage of verbal war following the start of military drills in the Yellow Sea. The drills are being held to intensify South Korea's response to the asymmetrical provocations on the part of the potential enemy. South Korean officials repeatedly stated that the nation would not tolerate any provocations from the North. So this isn't really good for anybody. I mean, they're basically trying to start a war with they're trying to get something going again with the Koreas and then again with Iran. This one's Afghanistan to expel U.S. security firms. They're getting rid of a bunch of mercenaries, I guess you can call them. It says most of the security contractors are believed to have close ties with Afghan warlords and are accused of contributing to the rising number of civilian casualties in the country. Come to find out that Japanese tanker was attacked. And of course, it was LC Aida. Thank you.